You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your mindset. And in life, we all face demons, not the kind in horror movies, but the ones that live in our fears, our doubts, and our past mistakes. These demons don't come with red eyes and horns. They come disguised as self-sabotage, toxic relationships, and the voices in our heads that tell us we're not good enough. The difference between those who break free and those who remain stuck isn't intelligence, it's wisdom. Smart people don't run from their demons. They don't ignore them, suppress them, or pretend they don't exist. They face them, they understand them, and most importantly, they use them. Today, I want to show you how the strongest minds transform their struggles into fuel, their pain into wisdom, and their fears into stepping stones. Because the truth is, your demons only have power if you let them. So let's dive in. This is how smart people deal with demons. Most people think that ignoring their struggles will make them disappear. But the reality is, the more you avoid something, the more power it gains over you. When you refuse to acknowledge the demons in your life, whether they take the form of self-doubt, trauma, negative thought patterns, or toxic relationships, you give them permission to control you from the shadows. Smart people understand that the first step to overcoming any challenge is to bring it into the light. The human mind is wired for survival. When faced with discomfort, it defaults to avoidance. That's why people distract themselves with work, relationships, or temporary pleasures rather than confronting what's truly holding them back. But here's the truth. You cannot defeat what you refuse to face. Acknowledging your demons isn't about giving them power, it's about reclaiming yours. It's about recognizing the patterns, understanding the triggers, and calling them out for what they are. When you identify the thoughts and behaviors that are keeping you stuck, you take the first step toward breaking free from them. This process requires brutal honesty. It's easy to blame external circumstances or other people for your struggles, but true self-awareness means taking full responsibility for your role in the battle. Ask yourself, what fears am I avoiding? What beliefs are keeping me small? What wounds am I pretending don't exist? When you answer these questions with honesty, you strip your demons of their ability to control you in silence. They no longer remain hidden forces shaping your life without your permission. Instead, they become obstacles that you are now aware of, obstacles that you can learn to overcome. Detach emotionally. Emotions are powerful, but they should not dictate your actions when facing inner battles. The biggest mistake people make when dealing with their demons is becoming emotionally entangled with them. They identify too closely with their fears, their past mistakes, or their pain, allowing these emotions to shape their reality. Smart people understand that emotions are temporary, but the consequences of letting them control you can last a lifetime. Think about it. When you let anger, guilt, or sadness consume you, you give your demons exactly what they want: control. You react impulsively, make decisions based on fear rather than logic, and get stuck in a cycle of emotional turmoil. Detaching emotionally doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means observing them without letting them dictate your choices. It means stepping outside of yourself, looking at the situation objectively, and asking, is this emotion serving me, or is it keeping me trapped? One of the most powerful tools in this process is self-awareness. The ability to recognize when an emotion is clouding your judgment is a skill that separates the strong from the weak. Instead of saying, I am anxious, say, I am experiencing anxiety. Instead of saying, I am a failure, say, I made a mistake. These small shifts in language create distance between you and the emotion, allowing you to respond rather than react. Smart people train themselves to pause before acting on emotion. They understand that emotions are signals, not commands. When they feel fear, they analyze where it's coming from. When they feel doubt, they question its validity. Instead of drowning in the feeling, they step back, take a deep breath, and approach their challenges with clarity. This is how they break free from emotional chains and take control of their minds. Your mind is a storyteller, constantly shaping the way you see yourself and the world around you. The problem is, most people let their demons write the script. They believe their struggles define them, their past mistakes limit them, and their fears predict their future. But smart people understand that the story you tell yourself determines the life you live. Instead of seeing themselves as victims of their demons, they reframe their struggles as stepping stones to growth. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. Two people can go through the same hardship, yet one comes out stronger while the other remains stuck. The difference isn't in what happened, it's in how they interpret it. Reframing the narrative means taking control of the meaning you assign to your experiences. Instead of saying, I failed, say, I learned. Instead of saying, I was rejected, say, I was redirected. Instead of saying, I lost everything, say, I cleared space for something new. Neuroscience proves that our brains adapt to the thoughts we repeatedly reinforce. If you tell yourself you're broken, your mind will look for evidence to support that belief. But if you tell yourself you're evolving, your brain will rewire itself to align with that perspective. This is why smart people choose their words carefully. They don't let their demons convince them they're powerless. They flip the script, turning obstacles into opportunities and wounds into wisdom. Reframing is not about denial, it's about perspective. It's about recognizing that every challenge carries a lesson, every setback hides a new path, and every struggle can be transformed into strength. The moment you change your narrative, you change your trajectory. The way you see your demons determines whether they break you or build you. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it will grow. The problem is, most people allow toxic seeds to be planted in their environment without even realizing it. They surround themselves with negativity, engage in self-destructive habits, and expose themselves to influences that reinforce their demons rather than help them overcome them. Smart people understand that if they want to master their inner world, they must first take control of their outer world. Your environment isn't just the physical space you live in, it's the people you interact with, the content you consume, and the habits you cultivate. If you constantly surround yourself with negative energy, people who doubt you, social media that feeds fear, or daily routines that keep you stagnant, your demons will thrive. But when you intentionally shape your surroundings to support growth, you weaken their grip on you. One of the most powerful steps you can take is eliminating anything that feeds your struggles. If certain relationships drain you, distance yourself. If the news triggers fear, limit your exposure. If bad habits reinforce self-doubt, replace them with empowering ones. The strongest minds don't wait for motivation to change their environment. They design it in a way that makes success inevitable. Everything around you either elevates or diminishes you. There is no neutral ground. Smart people are ruthless about what they allow into their space because they understand that their surroundings shape their mindset and their mindset shapes their destiny. They don't leave their environment to chance. They create one that aligns with their vision, making it impossible for their demons to thrive. Your mind is the battlefield where your demons either win or lose. Most people think their struggles come from external circumstances, but the truth is, everything starts internally. The way you think determines the way you act, and the way you act shapes the reality you experience. Smart people understand that if they want to defeat their demons, they must first take control of their thoughts. The problem is, most people allow their minds to run on autopilot. They wake up and immediately start reacting to life, checking their phones, worrying about problems, and letting negative thoughts dictate their mood. But thoughts are like muscles. The more you train them, the stronger they become. If you constantly feed your mind with self-doubt and fear, those patterns will take over. If you train your mind to focus on growth and resilience, those patterns will define you instead. Smart people don't wait for their mindset to change on its own. They actively rewire it. They challenge limiting beliefs, replace negative self-talk with empowering language, and feed their minds with knowledge that strengthens them. They understand that the brain is adaptable, and by intentionally shaping their thoughts, they reshape their entire reality. One of the key practices in mastering your mindset is shifting focus from problems to solutions. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, ask, what can I learn? Instead of saying, this is too hard, ask, how can I get stronger? Every thought is a decision, and smart people choose thoughts that serve them rather than sabotage them. Your demons thrive on mental weakness, but they crumble in the presence of a strong mind. The moment you take full control of your thoughts, you take full control of your life. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Most people lose their battles with their demons, not because they lack intelligence or talent, but because they lack the discipline to consistently make the right choices. Smart people understand that motivation is unreliable. It fades, it fluctuates, and it's often absent when you need it the most. That's why they don't depend on it. Instead, they develop inner discipline, a force that keeps them moving forward even when their emotions try to pull them back. Your demons feed on inconsistency. They thrive when you procrastinate, when you make excuses, and when you allow temporary feelings to dictate your actions. The only way to weaken their grip is to build habits that override emotional resistance. Smart people create routines that keep them on track, whether they feel like it or not. They don't negotiate with themselves about whether they should take action, they just do it. Discipline is about making small, intentional choices every single day. It's choosing to get up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's choosing to work on your goals when distractions call your name. It's choosing to stick to your principles when temptations try to pull you off course. Over time, these small choices accumulate, creating a foundation so strong that demons have no room to grow. The strongest minds understand that discipline isn't punishment, it's self-respect. It's proving to yourself that your long-term vision matters more than your short-term comfort. They train themselves to push through discomfort, knowing that every time they do, they weaken their demons and strengthen their control over their destiny. You become a reflection of the people and energy you surround yourself with. Most people don't realize that their environment isn't just shaping their thoughts, it's reinforcing their demons. Negative, toxic, and unmotivated individuals act like fuel for self-doubt, fear, and procrastination. Smart people understand that if they want to win their internal battles, they need to surround themselves with strength, people, habits, and influences that push them forward rather than pull them back. Your demons thrive in isolation and in weak environments. When you surround yourself with people who normalize bad habits, excuse mediocrity, and feed negativity, you unknowingly absorb those patterns. But when you intentionally place yourself among those who are disciplined, growth-oriented, and resilient, their energy becomes contagious. Their mindset influences yours. Their habits elevate your standards. Their presence alone makes your demons weaker. This doesn't mean you need a large circle. It means you need the right circle. Smart people are selective about who they allow in their lives. They cut ties with energy drainers, distance themselves from those who thrive on drama, and seek out individuals who challenge them to become better. They invest in relationships that build their confidence, sharpen their mindset, and hold them accountable when they start slipping. But it's not just about people. It's about everything you consume, the books you read, the content you watch, and the conversations you engage in all shape your mental environment. Smart people intentionally feed their minds with knowledge, inspiration, and wisdom that reinforce their growth. They know that by surrounding themselves with strength, they create a force field around their mind, one that makes it nearly impossible for their demons to take control. Fear is the number one tool your demons use to keep you stuck. It whispers doubts in your mind, convinces you that failure is inevitable, and paralyzes you before you even take the first step. Most people let fear control them. They avoid challenges, stay within their comfort zones, and shrink their ambitions to match their insecurities. But smart people do something different. They don't run from fear. They use it as fuel. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a signal. It means you are stepping into the unknown, and that's exactly where growth happens. Every great achievement in life exists on the other side of fear. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not the absence of fear, but how they respond to it. Smart people recognize that fear is simply energy, and they choose to redirect it toward action instead of hesitation. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" they ask, "What if I never try?" Instead of seeing fear as an enemy, they reframe it as proof that they're pushing beyond their limits. They understand that discomfort is a necessary part of transformation, and the more they lean into their fears, the more power they reclaim from their demons. The key is to take action despite the fear. The moment you stop letting fear dictate your decisions, you weaken its control over you. Each time you push through, your confidence grows, and the fear that once seemed overwhelming starts to shrink. Smart people train themselves to do what scares them, knowing that fear only has power over those who refuse to face it. They don't let it stop them, they let it drive them forward. The biggest lie your demons tell you is that you are powerless. They convince you that your circumstances define you, that your past limits you, and that your struggles are beyond your control. Most people believe this lie, blaming external factors for their failures and waiting for something outside of themselves to change. But smart people understand a simple truth. Nothing changes until you take full ownership of your life. Ownership means no excuses. It means looking at every challenge, every setback, and every obstacle and saying, "This is my responsibility." It doesn't mean everything is your fault, but it does mean that how you respond is within your control. Smart people don't waste energy complaining about what happened to them. They focus on what they can do next. They refuse to let their demons dictate their future by taking control of their present. The moment you take full responsibility for your actions, mindset, and decisions, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for the perfect circumstances, the right timing, or someone else to fix things for you. You realize that your demons only thrive when you refuse to take control. But once you decide that you are in charge, their grip weakens. Smart people live by one principle: if it's to be, it's up to me. They take control of their thoughts, their habits, and their choices, that they don't let setbacks define them. They use them as lessons. They understand that no matter what has happened in the past, they hold the pen to write their future. By taking ownership, they don't just defeat their demons, they become unstoppable. Your demons don't just attack your mind or your emotions, they go after your spirit. They thrive in moments of doubt, weakness, and disconnection from your higher purpose. Most people try to fight their battles with logic and willpower alone, but smart people understand that true strength comes from within. When your spirit is strong, no setback can break you, no fear can define you, and no fear can control you. A strong spirit is built through faith, self-awareness, and deep inner work. It means knowing who you are beyond your circumstances. It means grounding yourself in values that don't change no matter what life throws at you. Smart people cultivate their spirit by seeking wisdom, practicing gratitude, and maintaining a deep connection with something greater than themselves, whether that's faith, purpose, or a guiding mission in life. Your demons lose power when you operate from a place of certainty, when you believe in yourself, when you trust that every struggle has a purpose, and when you refuse to let temporary pain shake your long-term vision. You become untouchable. Strengthening your spirit isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about knowing that no matter what comes your way, you have the resilience to rise above it. Smart people make time for practices that nourish their inner strength. Whether it's meditation, prayer, journaling, or reflection, they protect their spiritual well-being just as much as they protect their physical and mental health. They understand that true power isn't found in external success. It's found in an unshakable spirit. When your foundation is strong, no demon can take you down. Smart people don't escape their demons. They face them, understand them, and take control of them. They acknowledge their struggles without letting them define who they are. They reframe their pain, recognizing that every challenge carries a lesson. They take control of their environment, removing anything that fuels negativity. They master their mindset, training their thoughts to work for them, not against them. They develop discipline, knowing that consistency is more powerful than motivation. They surround themselves with strength, choosing relationships and influences that elevate them. They use fear as fuel, turning their doubts into action. They take full ownership of their lives, refusing to let external circumstances dictate their future. And above all, they strengthen their spirit, grounding themselves in purpose and resilience. Demons only have power over those who allow them to stay in control. But the moment you decide to reclaim your mind, your actions, and your destiny, they start to lose their grip. Winning this battle isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. It's about recognizing that every thought, every decision, and every habit either strengthens or weakens you. The difference between those who are consumed by their demons and those who rise above them is simple. One waits for change, the other becomes the change. The question is, what will you choose?